led by Dave Sparks, is searching for the final resting place of Susan Cox Powell.
I was very fascinated with the idea of maybe helping find Susan.
New efforts tonight to try to find Susan Powell.
It's now day 8 for a crew that's been out here in the West Desert looking for any possible remains of Susan Powell. They'll be here until they get to the very bottom of this mine.
We've seen the good, bad, and the ugly, and this mine was ugly. In fact, this mine had been perfectly intact for 100 years or so, back in November 2009, and then in January of 2010, the mine had been...
It wasn't going to get searched any other way, and I'd just be glad to find out, is she here, is she not, who is here?
Well, the case is considered cold, but it is still open.
Holy shit. We just found what could potentially be the most significant piece of evidence we've found.
You know, I have no idea if Susan's down in that mine, but I can guarantee you this. If she is, we will find her and we'll bring her home. Either way, we're not stopping until we reach the bottom of that hole.
Well, we haven't been down yet, but from the last load before, it's looking good. We can probably quickly burn through another few feet, which will tell us a lot.
Yeah. So start with me, Al, and one of you guys, and then we'll just rotate through. Day number 5. It's a good day. It's an awesome day, actually. Really good response to our first video that we put out, which you know, we're pretty proud of, and it caught the attention of Susan's family and her friends, and Debbie Caldwell, their daycare provider, is out here. And I had an hour-long phone call with Susan's dad, Chuck, yesterday, and it's just like that like re-energized me like I can't even explain. They're just such good people, so grateful for the work that we're doing, and it just amped me up. So I feel like today's the day. I said that last time, and I'll probably continue to say that every day until it's the actual day, but today feels like it could be the day.
Guys, I want to take a quick second to explain to you how we operate and how we fund some of these bigger search, rescue, and recovery operations. You see, most of the work that we do is pro bono. I mean, we don't charge anybody for it. We just go out and we volunteer our time and resources and a lot of money to be able to do this stuff. But I wanted to explain to you how you guys are involved with that, because yes, I put a lot of my own money into this, but we also use funds from supporters like you who buy our merch and watch our videos to be able to do this crazy stuff that we do, like go dig down in this mine. So I want to make you all aware of how we do that, right? I don't want to just say, hey, support our projects. I want to say, hey, if you support our projects, we're going to give you a chance to win a badass truck. So you guys know we give away a truck every single month. And the way this works is every $5 you spend on like a t-shirt or one of our merchandise, you're going to get an entry to win the truck of the month. However, right now, we're doing a special deal. I decided to put together something really cool for you guys because you've been supporting this project so well and you've been doing such a good job at, you know, keeping us going. So I wanted to return the favor. Right now, this truck you see behind me is the current giveaway truck. It's a F450 sponsored by Ariat. Just a really, really badass truck. Well, the giveaway for this ends in just a few days. In fact, on Monday the 14th. So what I'm gonna do is, if you guys want a chance to win this truck, and if you wanna support this project, if you wanna buy some cool merchandise, I'm gonna make what's normally worth 1 entry, 15 entries. So every $5 you spend is gonna get you 15 entries. It's crazy, it's awesome. We're also gonna throw in a free flag with your order and give you 20% off your entire order. So use the promo code HEAVYD20, click the link in my description below, go to DeepSpowerGear.com, get yourself some merch. More importantly, keep yourself entered to win that badass truck. And thank you for all your support.
Psyched. 10-year anniversary. The universe has any justice, we're gonna find her today.
This is bringing new viewers, and it brings more interest to the case.
Yep.
And people are now more people are gonna learn about Susan, and hopefully, you know, it'll help, you know, save more people's lives. And we get letters all the time from women who said they were on the same path that Susan was on, and they didn't recognize it. And if it hadn't have been for, you know, Susan's story, they could have probably ended up very much in her shoes. And
it's a million times harder once you have kids in a relationship like that.
That's one of my big things, is if they'll abuse you, they will abuse your children. And so that's what always been my message, is that they will abuse the children. And so I understand why women stay. And hopefully we could create better programs to help women break free and stay free.
I hope so.
I'll teach you the road down.
What's that?
Different layers, and the grip on it just grips the outer layer, but these hoses are so old that this outer layer just unsleeved from the rest of the hose.
Update is Alan and Dave are both at the bottom of the mine again together. Yeah, this is it's something I think we need to be careful and never put those two down there together, because obviously they're bad luck together. So we've got a contraption going right now. Dave does not want to come up yet. He wants to keep digging for a little while, so we're gonna let them keep digging while we get everything.
Questionable if we stay out here tonight, I guess, unless someone runs in and goes and grabs clamps and stuff.
No way. There's no way to fix it. There's way too much pressure on those lines.
No.
You have to have a new line.
So we'll see what happens, but good news is we can get them out of the hole safely. I mean, we've been here before. That's why
we purposely make sure we don't have the proper tools to fix things.
That's why.
So we don't get stuck doing stuff on Sundays. And
Sparks, I'm learning the tricks.
That's a negative on the hydraulic line.
A really tight line from the head to area.
As everybody's working together, it's pretty awesome. Great team, man.
Throw a D-ring on it and then throw it back over the red one. It's got to be in return. Otherwise, it would have
been coming in. The boom came in probably. Yeah, the boom came in like 3 or 4 feet. Didn't it? Weren't you coming in?
But make sure I have another one ready to go.
Stop! Okay, we have our friends pretty much at the top. The truck started spinning out a little bit, but it was able to keep enough traction to keep forward progress, and it was not as sketchy as it could have been. So we're almost home free.
Ready to go back to work? Oh, we're charged and ready to go. Like the Energizer Bunny.
So Hans opens his eyes. The first thing he says is,
Man, I'm recharged. Ready to get back at it.
Oh.
If you guys slept in the truck, you'd know. There was no recharging going on.
I feel decharged.
There was us. This is how I do my morning stretches. So you get your leg up.
Actually,
right here on the steering wheel.
You
And then you take the seat and you go.
And then
it's out of battery, obviously. So
that's where we're stranded.
Hunter, that's not a proper shower. He has no idea I'm in here, and he's taking a shower, I guess is what this is called. I think he's trying to get the fluoride out of him, and it's just not working. That are lice. What's going on, Hunter? Yeah, still looks bad. Yeah, still looks untamed. Yep, still has no idea. Has no idea I'm in here. No. Good job, Hunter!
Coming good.
Oh.
Now it's about time to use the outhouse.
How did you get a nice prop on yours?
You don't like it.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day?
Yeah. We still gotta dig through the burnt material. Far more burnt material than I thought we'd have.
What day is it? 6? Day 6? Day 5? Day 7? I don't know. We just woke up in the desert. We decided to stay here last night, as you can see. And it was a good idea because that 6-hour round trip really takes a bite out of our digging time. So we had guys in the hole until about 4 a.m. last night. I was there till about 2, and then next thing you know, we have a hammock down there. Next thing you know, I wake up in the hammock and I have no idea what time it is, how many loads have gone up without me. I was just peaceful underground, sleep like a baby. So went to the RV, everybody piled in, we all got some decent sleep. We're having breakfast now, and we're getting ready to go back in. It's interesting because the material we're pulling out of the hole, most of the day yesterday is like this really fine, basically like this stuff, almost like potting soil because it's mixed with ashes and moisture. Now we're in giant timberland, like all this stuff. So it's basically, you put your shovel in the dirt and you either hit a big piece of wood, a big rock, or maybe you'll get a tiny scoop of dirt because there's just a lot of debris down there. So I feel like debris might be like my new word, because I feel like I've said it 150 times throughout this video series, probably more than that actually. But yeah, we're gonna get down there, and we keep having new theories as to where we're at in the bottom of the mine. Like, ooh, there's more timbers now, so that means we're closer to where the actual, head frame was burnt. That's where my head's at now. So next bucket load could totally change. But at this point, we're just digging, having a great time.
Rock. That's some shiny stuff in it. I love shiny stuff in the rocks.
So here I am, running the winch controllers up and down. We gotta lift the boom up, lift the guys out, winch up, winch down, and we have to hold down this button and this button for 5 minutes to go up, 5 minutes to go down, plus lots of stops and stuff. And now my fingers look like this. That's what happens. I'll add up all the hours I've held these buttons when all this is said and done. It's gonna be a lot. Fun couple weeks though.
We still have about, I would guess, 4 to 5 feet more of what I can confirm that we have to dig through. So we're still not done yet. This is way more burnt material than we thought that we had. So this collapse was much bigger than we thought.
So the head keeps dying because all the 12-volt accessories just hooked to one 12-volt battery, but the rest of the system is 24-volt. But for some reason it's frying that 12-volt battery. So I'm just separating the systems now, and I'm going to have one 12-volt battery off to the side that we'll just have like a battery charger hooked to from the generator to keep it charged up. And then the other two batteries will be rigged up for 24-volt. So they should just hopefully reliably start the truck over and over again.
Is that bag of fittings in here? Have you seen it?
All right, so today is day 7 of our search in this abandoned mine for Susan Powell. We've been out here, not 7 days consecutively, but 7 out of like the past 10 days we've been here. And they've been roughly, I don't know, 18, 20-hour days. Been really long days. I want to show you guys, we just barely got to the site. I want to show you some of the things that we have to do logistically, like maintenance-wise, mechanically, basically all the stuff that we have to do that goes into letting us get down in that hole. Basically, we've got the het wrecker that we've had pretty much at full PTO power for the last 7 days, and we've blown multiple hydraulic lines. Fortunately, Evco House of Hose in Salt Lake the other night, they stepped up big time and got us a hose made after hours, and we were super grateful for that, because otherwise we were actually stuck in the hole, and we had to wait for the hose to get here. But instead of waiting, we had a climbing rope go down a pulley hooked to a truck pulling up that hill, pulling us out of the hole. So right now Hunter is going to, we've been fighting with the batteries on this het like crazy, because there's a 12-volt system and a 24-volt system, and they don't play nice with each other, and they drain the batteries. Also, Hunter, fun fact, drove this truck home from West Virginia at 46 miles an hour, filling
very
up.
Traumatic.
It is traumatic. You hate this truck.
60 hours of driving, so yeah, me and this truck have a...
You have a love-hate relationship.
Hate relationship.
Nah, that's not true. You love it. Literally 46 miles an hour all the way home. Took them a week to get home. So right now we got to check the PTO. We got to check the engine oil. We got to check our hydraulic oil because we've lost some when the hoses blew. We're also back here with Al trying to get our winch tensioner working. These little airbags right here inflate, pushing that arm down, which helps us guide the winch cable on, because if it doesn't go on smooth or straight, it jumps over itself. Well, when it jumps, that means the guys in the bucket, aka me, gets like a nice solid 1 foot drop, and you think the line's breaking every time, and you think that's the end of the road for you, but it's just brown trousers. That's brown trouser time. Yep. And then moving on, we only have like half the vehicles here right now, by the way, because I drive a little bit faster than everybody else to get out here. And in driving that fast, I burn up all the fuel in my Raptor. Like if I drive like a normal person, I got plenty of fuel to get here and back, but I haven't been. And by the time I get out here, I literally almost ran out of gas last time on the way back. So we're bringing auxiliary fuel tanks, these Works containers, which I've told you guys about before, freaking love them. 30 gallons of gas in each of those. So I just filled the Raptor up, and now I have to fill the Ranger up. And the reason why I have to fill the Ranger up is because I have to use the Ranger to be able to drive into a tiny little sliver of cell service where I can return phone calls and still like run the business. So without that, I don't have that. And without that, I don't have my phone, which really I haven't had much anyways. I've really just kind of gone into service to make some critical calls, make sure my friends and family know I'm still alive. And then we have obviously all of our food, which that's a very terrible representation because it just got thrown in there last night. We actually do have a nice little gourmet kitchen set up over here and the grill. So I'm about to go over and unload all that. And then every day we have to unload all of our tools and climbing equipment. That's just a small portion of it. My truck has just got the shit kicked out of it in this trip. I actually don't really take good care of this truck. Not that I don't take good care of it, I use it as a truck, not as a show vehicle. Hence my taped on bedsides. That's from going 115 miles an hour through the desert. So got a little bit of body work to do when we get back. But like I said, you guys will see the footage of me driving. I drive it the way a Raptor's supposed to be driven. Probably one of the very few that actually pushes the capabilities of the Raptors. And I'll tell you right now, very capable. Let's see what else. And normally we have another truck here and a truck here. They'll be here in a minute. We use those as anchors for our winch and pulley system. We got our little fire pit, brake area. We got our rubble pile, stuff we've been pulling out of the mine. This is all new dirt, roughly 40,000 pounds. And then these are just different rocks and sticks and pieces of timber. The big timbers we leave down in the mine because we can use them down there. Little stuff like this we bring to the top, and we've been trying to burn it, but it's so soggy from being down in the mine that the fire doesn't really like it. And I think that's it for the quick tour of what we got going on here on day 7. I feel really good about today. I know I've said that every day, probably because I feel good every day out here, but I do feel like we're getting close to the bottom. We have to be, because we've excavated a solid like 30 feet. Actually, we brought a big tape measure today, so we're going to get exact measurements for you guys. So anyways, that's enough rambling. Let's get started.
Any wiring on this truck that is scrap that I can get like a 2-foot section of wire around it? I know there's a lot of it somewhere. You already pulled that off.
Cleaning it up, trying to get rid of the garbage.
What I was worried about. Why'd you do that? Why'd you
check
make
the
it
box
better?
over on the side here. There might be some wire in there.
Okay. I think all I need to do is ground this terminal back to the truck frame, and then this thing will fire up and function perfectly. I think I'm just going to steal this wire off his little marker light. Oh gosh, there's 3 little wires in that one. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I've resorted to baling wire, but if it hits either of those terminals, it'll arc out and melt. So we'll just span it over the middle. And in theory, this truck should fire right up now.
So you're saying we're not supposed to do this?
Hey, hey! Get that away from there. Just stay put. All right, moving to truth.
I was talking with Susan's dad yesterday, and he sent me a text, because I sent him a picture of the bones that we found. He sent them to a bone expert, I guess 2 different experts. One said that they were animal, and the other one said they were human. So, conflicting. He said, hang on to them until you're done with your search, though, and then once you're done, we'll have everything checked out. Trying to get our air hoses to the winch tensioner fixed, because it makes the winch wind up much more smoothly. But we weren't necessarily planning on doing this. We didn't bring any airline parts, and the one part that we need, I think, just yeeted all the way to San Francisco. Welcome to the belly of the beast. We're at 165 feet below the surface. We're about to start digging. Al, measuring tape.
What was that?
Pull it out of the way. Okay. These are the conditions we get to work in. About 5 foot by 5 foot, plus the 2.5 foot barrel, leaves me with about 2.5 feet to dig. So, enjoy the show. So I don't know if you've ever dug through dirt with big sticks in it, but it's very frustrating because you get this, just stomping, not going anywhere, because I'm on a stupid stick or a rock. So then I have to wedge it out, work around it, and then I get a little baby scoop like that. Baby scoops piss me off so bad. Yeah, I like big scoops like that one. Barrel's almost full. A couple more shovel loads, and I'll ride it to the top, dump it, and be back down. See the sweat just pouring off of my head? I bend over, and a full-blown faucet pours out of my head. 5 minutes up, 5 minutes down, plus about 5 minutes to dump. See you in 15 minutes. Up.
down there. It's getting my boots wet.
Totally wizard. Well, we've luckily we got a lot of big long timbers pulled out, so it opened it all up, makes it a lot easier to dig. But the timbers we pulled up were buried 10 feet. So does that mean 10 more feet of material we have to remove?
At least.
Let's see.
Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. Look how much space there is for so many activities down here. We haven't had this much space in like 8 feet. Yumberry pomegranate flavored beverage.
Start heading up.
Okay, coming up. Just tell me when to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't pulling that out anytime soon. Wow. Jeez. Alright, that's good.
Stop. Back down 2 feet.
Yummy. How about
that link?
Is it on video?
Yeah. Well, interesting. Set it aside, please, and make sure Eric documents it. And we found this vertebrate in the debris. I'm not a biologist, but it looks like it could be human size. So we're going to be watching all the material very, very carefully, because we are now at where we think that we would have found something, and this is we may have found something.
We also just found orange juice that expired February of 09.
Yep, February of 09. But you don't know like when, I mean, that was, people drink it even after the date, but we're talking, we're in that year.
Yeah.
Then it's wow. I don't know if that's an animal, but it's big enough to be a human. See, if I put my thumb is about an inch.
Is this what Al just sent up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely a vertebrae.
Oh yeah. What?
How big is a human vertebrae? How big is like?
Probably that. Take a look at the bump on your spine, on the back of your back.
That's wild. How
I've never.
So a couple things.
That's crazy.
Could be a dog. Could be a coyote. Could be a human.
Saber-toothed tiger.
That's pretty much all. The saber-toothed tiger would be fossilized.
I think so.
That's okay. If they're within a foot or two of this, it's hard to believe that one of her vertebrae would have just popped out and settled with time. Maybe, maybe not. I was expecting to see everything complete, but there's a chance that, you know, between whatever he did to her, if there was a fire or anything, and then dropping, what, 175 feet, that's a big deal.
Do you think if she was burned, all the way burned, it would all like break apart? Like how do vertebrae hold together?
I think, well, vertebrae are held together with like tendons and stuff like that, and they've got like sockets. But to burn a bone, I think you got to be like 600-700 degrees plus. You got to incinerate them. That's how they cremate bodies. So I'm not expecting to see bones that are completely cremated. I'm expecting to see bones that are maybe charred or removed.
So should we try to wash that?
I think we leave it as is. We let the detectives figure it out. I don't want to mess with any of the evidence.
It's broken.
I mean, at one point they were all in a line, all the vertebrae. So
Bro, that does look just like a human vertebrae.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can't think of any. Like a dog, maybe. Yeah.
See you later, dude.
jacket.
Dave just pulled out
Jacket, or maybe a skirt. Holy shit.
We got another rib bone.
Oh, holy shit.
Here, can you stand that right?
Dude, there's more. Holy.
Dude, we just found bones.
After all those discoveries from last night, the pants, some more bones, but then the last barrel had nothing in it, so who knows. It is interesting though that we haven't seen really much for the last 10 or 15 feet, and then all of a sudden we're starting to see pieces of trash from 2009 and a pair of pants that could easily be a woman's. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to think of something to drop down that low.
Copy that. Well, we're on a bird's nest. Looks like the bird's nest is another down. Tell them to go down more.
Big chunks of metal on this big steel tube. All right, so check this out. Found out we're on top of this bird's nest. This is really cool. I strung all of our lights down there. There's 3 more lights past that. You can see right there. So this whole side of the shaft is like man ladders to be able to crawl up all the way down, and then this section is your elevator shaft, and these are the runners. Well, that side has been plugged up until this point. We've been making these little pockets for us to sit in. But right there, it looks like it opens wide back up, and the ladder is open again to crawl down probably like 50 feet. And I'm sitting on top of a bird's nest that is about to fall like 50 feet. So things are about to get real interesting. Real interesting. Time to go in to the hole. You got it, big guy.
We just made a big discovery. As you know, we've been digging at what we thought was the bottom of the mine for the last 5 or 6 days because it's just been solid dirt. So we thought for sure there was no more bird's nests. Well, today we found another bird's nest, and we've excavated over 30 feet of dirt off the top of it. So this bird's nest was holding a ton of materials. And now we see down there the actual shaft continues down another probably 50, 60 feet. So we had some suspicions or some information that this mine was possibly 225 feet deep, ballpark. And now the math adds up because we're sitting at about 180, and that's easily 40 feet below us. So based on historical records and the information we have, that might be the real bottom. Into the belly of the beast. Here we go. We are headed down. Found a ladder. Cannot confirm how stable the ladder is. I'll take my ascender down. Basically, this little section of leash right here is all I'm gonna have to fall if this whole thing gives out on me. Keep working my way down. Ooh, it's open mineshaft down here. Here's a view that I haven't been able to give you guys yet. This is what the bottom of the bird's nest looks like. So when that's basically what was holding up all those thousands of pounds. I might want the ladder footing. I'm not very sure. So just had a real sketchy moment. Coming down, rappelling down the rope to the bottom of the shaft. I leaned in towards my harness and my rappel device right here sucked my beard in, and I've been stuck here hanging from my beard for the last 5 minutes trying to rip out all that hair that came straight out of, that was literally holding me on. I have no idea what's left of my beard. That was brutal. That was wild. I didn't like that at all. All right, guys. Things just got real exciting. After pretty much pulling my whole beard out by getting it stuck in my climbing rope and belay device, I managed to somehow finagle my way out of it. And now I am at what I believe is the bottom of the mine shaft. You can see there's big stope rooms and kind of the side shafts and all the good stuff we were looking for up top. Pretty much all the material that has been tossed down the mine. You can see there's another bird's nest right there. If the body were to have been tossed down, it would have landed right in this pile. This is where we're going to be digging first. Oh boy, what do we have here? A piece of clothing. Burnt sock. I'll have the other guys probably come down and we'll start digging right here. I mean, I guess there's a chance that she's still in a bird's nest, but she's more likely right down here. And the best part about, landslide. I've only been down here for a few minutes and I'm already finding some insane treasures, like this old bottle of what appears to be probably alcohol, moonshine of some sort. This old alcohol bottle. It's 1 pint. Federal law forbids sale or reuse of this bottle. Guys, this is freaking insane. Okay, hold on. Guys, this is, we literally opened up a time capsule here. I'm so excited. All right, let's dig.
So where are you guys at? I'm gonna drop the little pickaxe. What is it?
Wow. It's an alcohol bottle. Yeah, we did.
Whoa.
Putting all the material, I already kind of cleared this area right here.
Yeah.
So anything that we pull off of here, let's just throw back in there as far as we can.
All right. That is one amazing ore pocket.
Yeah.
This whole, this is a massive deposit. It's sort of surprising it's not being worked. You gonna go up first, or do you want me to try going up? Okay.
Might try to build some ladder on the way up.
There you go, we found a couple more bones.
Yep.
That one you said looks like it's got a socket to it, right?
Yeah, rather interesting.
So I found 3 more bones down there. The manways where I found the bones, which means every one of these manways could have a few more bones in them. We might have to go through and explore every single one of these manways.
She was married to him for eternity, so she was, you know, willing to give him a chance and see it through. There obviously was some good sides. I never saw any because we were always at odds, whether it was over lost socks or feeding the kids milk. We were always at odds.
I never saw one.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't see one.
But she saw something, and you don't tell your daughter.
No.
Don't do that because
then it just makes them run faster straight to him.
Yeah, very narcissistic, sociopathic.
No, he didn't share. He didn't share well at all. He would get after her for loaning me things, and she wouldn't ask me. She said, "Oh, I brought this because we talked about it. Thought you'd like to look at it." And he would just come unraveled.
Hi, how are you guys?
Alec.
Hi.
Jim, are you new?
I'm not.
I didn't interview you the other day.
He's a good guy. He's a good egg.
I tried to get around and
Yeah.
talk to all of you. I didn't talk to you much, did I? I didn't
No,
talk to you, but I
wasn't-
did get introduced.
Yes, I went down to the motorhome. I was cleaning that up when I was here.
But you're making a few comments on the Facebook wall.
I'm trying to defend everybody.
I know, and I'm defending you too.
I know, thank you.
I'm just the babysitter. I'm going to
the
write a
baby-
book, and
just-
it's going to be
just
called
the ba-
Just the
Just the
Babysitter.
Babysitter,
I'm just
yeah.
the babysitter.
who screwed up his whole plans.
I
and
sure
made
did.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
So this is kind of what we found. This is some of the most recent stuff.
So this is not a dress material. This actually has some substance to it. It's like they're not dress pants.
And they had these kind of shiny blue buttons that didn't really feel like work pants either. There's no rivets on them.
Yeah, and the name is brushed off of it, so you can't see what if they have. Sometimes they'll have a name and a date on them. Can you decide which way the zipper zips? On women's pants, they zip opposite the men's pants.
I think this would have been the inside of the pants, so that would.
Yeah. So putting it like this and it's zipping.
But okay, so let's look at this right here. You can see on the edge here, this has got a machine sew on it. So that might be evidence of what time period it was. These pants are from as well. Men's dress shirts buttoned opposite than women's dress
26
shirts.
by
Sure are. That is Susan Cox Powell's father, Chuck Cox, speaking today, joining the search for her remains in Utah.
the likelihood is pretty low that we're going to find something, but on the other hand, she's still out there somewhere. This seems to fit everything we would want, and I'm disappointed it was not checked earlier.
A lot of community support for you and your family, but to see this, and I can imagine that you might have gotten a little emotional right as you're coming up and seeing the whole operation and seeing what people are willing to do. What was that feeling like? Walk me through that.
It's a blessing, and I'm just so thankful that they're doing it, and I'm just grateful that people are still looking for Susan. And so, I don't know, I'm just hoping for the best, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add? That was pretty much everything I had.
No, I'm glad they're back down getting stuff.
I love
more parts.
Yeah,
more
got
pieces.
it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Who's doing on the first one? We got 3
Get us more stuff.
Yeah, we'll get you some more stuff. Like Little Mermaid, I'm going to be coming up with trinkets all day.
More stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear the whole version when he finds something.
Before we start that truck up, let's let these guys do their interview. That way the noise isn't bad. Did it shut off?
But you're definitely on the bottom.
Nice thing is we're at the bottom now for sure. All the precarious spots are all shored up.
It's
so
all
now,
rock.
down at the bottom there's probably about 4 or 5 feet of sticks that are kind of sticking up, so we'll push those against the wall and screw them all to the wall, and then from there it's just big chunks of rock and dirt and all the other good stuff. There's one last final bird's nest right before the bottom of the shaft. It's kind of like almost made a funnel. There's a lot of material in there that I'm looking forward to digging through. So,
okay, get back in there.
All right, we're getting in there.
Good thing Judy's not here, that's all I can say.
His wife?
Yeah.
So what got you to go down?
Opportunity. Yeah. I just wait.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Jump cocks right in the bucket.
It's in good hands.
Stop. She's loving life. She's coming down here.
I'll take that down.
Stop.
Clearing out some timbers and organizing them into a nice stock of wood up here.
Almost like, ow! Things keep falling on me.
Well, you should wear a helmet, Alan.
It's hitting my back.
Well, you should strap helmets all over yourself then.
Yeah. Platform, it was a cluster.
Yeah. I saw that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the bottom of the Ironsides mine. About 100 feet deeper than we thought it was. Let me take you on a quick tour. So, to give you guys as much perspective as possible, help you understand what we've been working with and what we've been working towards. Right there is the bottom of the shaft. That's where, well, we think it's the bottom. We hope it's the bottom. I'm pretty sure it is. And all along, we were hoping that we could find a side shaft because it helps us be able to remove material and it just makes way more sense. Well, we got down here, we got a side shaft this way, and we got a side shaft that way. That one is in bad shape. It's been collapsed. It's got big timbers that are smashed in it. Can't make it very far. This one is about to blow your mind. So while they're shoring up all the wood right there, because ultimately we came down here to search right there. Like that pile of dirt is what we need to move to see if we can find anything. So big moment there, obviously for us, but we can't do any work right there until they're done. Ow. Oh, just getting those size rocks all day. So while they're doing that, we're gonna go check out the tunnel. This right here is probably the worst part of the tunnel. You can see the roof's caved in a little bit over time. A lot of moisture down here. A lot of crazy looking minerals. The walls are full of iron pyrite, which is fool's gold, so everything's sparkling. I think there's some zinc down here, some silver, some copper, just a smorgasbord. So, like I said, this is the worst part of the tunnel. It cleans up over here. See all the different minerals and stuff, all the oxidation from the water. You got fool's gold sparkling, you got all sorts of stuff. So I actually think this mine could potentially have some good minerals left. Somebody could mine it. Get back here. And then once we get past all these weird collapses, then it turns into a family-friendly walking path.
No way, dude.
You got the old ore cart track. You got, I believe, right here was an exit. I think that maybe it was collapsed or something happened there, but I'm pretty sure there was another entrance or exit that way. This way goes back quite a long ways. You can see they got their old like ducting in here where they were either running fresh air or trying to run smoke out. This is as far as they got. They probably got sick and tired of pulling out fool's gold. But I mean, I don't know if the camera's doing this justice, but guys, this place is just glistening with different types of crystals and geodes and all sorts of different interesting rocks and minerals. So as a miner, you know, can you imagine? We've been hauling material out of here in a bucket, probably about the same size as an ore cart, getting all the way to right here, chiseling away, throwing it into the cart, rolling the cart all the way over the elevator, taking the elevator all the way to the top to dump it, like just a painstakingly slow process. But they did it. And they're way more badass than we are because those old timers did some serious work. Like, this stuff's all pretty soft. See that? Like, this was definitely just falling apart in their hands. Hopefully they're done shoring up the ladder so we can start digging again. But this is what we came for, folks. This is the moment where, when my boots touched down here, I just felt like, okay, whether we find Susan or we don't find Susan, we found the bottom. And that's what we came to do. And it is super, super gratifying. Obviously, we still hope to be able to find her. Super cool that her dad and aunt are in the mine shaft helping us right now. Like, I did not see that one coming. The Cox family, like legit people. So anyways, let's go look at the rest. Has a label on it. Ooh, there we go. I guess it was a bottle of rosé wine from way back in the day. Probably full of piss now. You know, the thing about being a miner is you got to eat good. You know, you work hard, burn calories all day. So this, my friends, is what we call, well, it's basically charcuterie board, but it's the miner's edition. So
quite the assortment of meats and cheeses there.
I mean, there's also a lot of sand and little rocks in there too. Everything tastes better underground.
And when you're hungry.
I'm pretty sure Al's just building a fort at this point.
I was just getting some of the wood out of the way and making it easier to get out.
What we found in there is what was there, meaning nobody ever has to wonder about that mine again because we spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money digging and finding the bottom. And at the end of the day, we're just really grateful for the experience. Well, guys, this has been hands down one of the most intense things that me and my team have ever been a part of. We went through so many different emotions. We've gone up and down, and ultimately, you know, we went out to the desert with one goal, and that was to get to the bottom of the mine. And if we found Susan along the way, then that was just, you know, cherry on top for us. We were not 100% certain that she would be down there. And as you see through the videos, we were frantically scrambling and, you know, basically fighting over shovels because every single person involved that was helping wanted to get down there and take that next scoop of dirt because we kept on finding more and more items, which leads us to our evidence. We have some very, very potent evidence that at the time we weren't sure, you know, how powerful this stuff really could be, but as Chuck Cox and some other people have started to look over this, they're starting to feel very confident that this pair of pants we found belonged to Susan, or some of these bones that we found belong to Susan. There's a lot of different theories and ideas floating around right now. So what we're going to do is take these items to a forensics lab to be able to, you know, cross-check the DNA and figure out whether or not this stuff actually belonged to Susan. So we're going to do that for law enforcement since we don't have any sort of like smoking gun right now that says, hey, here's her skull, here's her dental records. So rather than making law enforcement use their resources and time and energy, we're going to use our resources, time and energy. So basically, we're searching, we've interviewed a couple different forensics labs, and we're still interviewing a few more. We want to find the best of the best to be able to send these items to and, you know, get some definitive answers. Maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's Susan. But at the end of the day, here's what happened. We went out to the desert and we worked our asses off. I literally worked my fingers to the bone. This fingernail's about to fall off. Pretty sure I tore this rotator cuff when the floor fell out from underneath me and it was dangling. All of my guys absolutely kicked ass. It was the most well-oiled machine I've ever seen, and I was so damn proud to be a part of it. Seeing Susan's dad jump in that bucket and ride down the mine with us, seeing her Aunt Pam go all the way to the bottom of the mine shaft with us, guys, this was an absolutely mind-blowing experience. And the support and feedback from all of you. I knew Susan's case was big, but I had no idea it was this big. I had no idea so many of you were so passionate about either A, finding Susan, or B, raising awareness of what happened to her and helping other people who might be stuck in similar situations get out. So guys, this is your warning call. This is us doing our very best to raise awareness. If you are stuck in a situation that sounds even remotely similar to Susan's, whether you're a man or a woman, if you're in an abusive relationship, you need to get some help. You need to make a phone call now. Stop justifying what someone is doing to you just because they operate under the guise of love or whatever it is. If you're being mistreated, you know it. Deep down inside, you know it's not right, and you need to make the call. That's 1-800-799-7233. Or you can go to thehotline.org, and that is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. These people will be there for you 24/7. They'll listen to you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna rock your whole world, turn it upside down. It's just somebody to talk to. They'll help you understand. If you really are in a bad spot, there's a way out, and you can do it before it's too late. We did something that honestly is not possible. The way we dug through that mine in the short amount of time with basically no accidents or mishaps, and the stuff that we found down there, it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal that I'm, like I said, very proud of what my guys were able to accomplish, and I'm very grateful for the support of every single one of you guys. I do want to take a second and just a special shout out to my guys, starting with Hans. My assistant Hans is, you guys see a different side of Hans on the videos and the vlogs sometimes than who Hans might really be. I'll tell you this right now. He's the most loyal, the most committed, the most dedicated and talented person that I could ever, you know, we call him my assistant, but he's so much more than that. He's literally my right hand, my left hand. The dude made sure we had food on site. He made sure all the transportation, logistics, everything was just dialed in, and that's thanks to your boy Hans. I know sometimes he seems a little goofy on the videos, but do not underestimate Hans. That dude is, he's one of the most capable people I've ever met in my entire life. Next up, you got Diesel Dave, you know, my brother, my partner, my best friend. The dude just on his hands and knees did not want to stop digging. In fact, it got to the point where him and I were literally like arguing over the shovel. It's like, no, I want to dig. He's like, no, I want to dig. I'm like, no, I want to keep. He's like, you already went. So that was cool because there's not many people that you ever have to fight over a shovel with, but Diesel Dave is definitely one of those guys. Then you got Jackknife Jim. The dude is, he's kind of my right-hand man when it comes to shit hit the fan situations, because he and I are able to work together in a calm way to be able to figure things out. So he ran the winch like a champ, he had the longest commute out of all of us. Most of us had to commute 2 or 3 hours out to the mine. Jim had about 4 hours because he lives a little further away from us, so definitely put in the time. You got Hunter, the man, just always constantly like jumping here, jumping there, keeping things running, keeping things going, and anytime you need a go-to, somebody who's got to get something done, Hunter's your guy, so super grateful for him. Alan is the man. You guys already know that I'm a big fan of Alan and his capabilities, and this all happened for a reason. You know, we found his compound, and then we went out, and then we met, we became friends, then I hired him, and then he told me the story and gave me this tip. Like, that's not a coincidence. That happened for a reason. And I'm super proud to have Alan on the team, and I hope to keep him around forever, and hope to show you guys more of his compound up on the mountain. He does have a YouTube channel. I think it's Mountain Fortress Labs, which I'll put right here. Hunter also has his own YouTube channel, which go ahead and put it right there. And then you've got our media team. You got Bad Boy himself, the baddest boy ever. So the way that we work, we have stuff scattered everywhere. We keep our radios and our communication equipment and all the different tools and accessories that we have. Bad Boy not only is on top of getting all the shots, great videographer, amazing photographer, but he also makes sure that everything is there, ready, dialed, charged, and just good to go, so we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So super committed to the team, even though on this mission, he didn't get to do much other than be on top and just kind of wait for news, which probably was the hardest position out of all the positions that were there, because you're just sitting, waiting, wondering. Then you've got Eric. Eric is our newest videographer and editor, and he's the reason why all of these vlogs now look like cinematic masterpieces. Eric kicks ass. Flat out, he just gets it. I don't have to tell him the shots that I want. He's constantly scrambling. But what really stood out to me was when we got to the bottom of the mine, we were just basically full speed ahead, marathon digging, trying to get to the bottom because we only had, a little bit of time left down there. Eric sets his camera down and is filming, and I look over and he's just going crazy with the shovel and the pickaxe. And I know that he would never show this footage, but I really, really want Eric to be, I want to show what he's capable of, because not only is he creating these masterpieces, but he's also working his ass off, just like, Bad Boy, who AKA his name is Alec. I mean, these guys do so much more than take pictures and videos. They are integral parts of the team, and without them, we couldn't do what we do, and I mean that. You got Cooper, one of the newest recruits. This was an opportunity for Cooper to kind of get out here and show what he was capable of and see if he could keep up. He has experience and a background as a firefighter. He's got ropes training and all that kind of stuff. The dude was running the entire time, just sprinting from what do you need, what do you need, what do you need. I mean, I would come to the top of the hole, come out of the bucket looking like, I just was coal mining for 100 years, and he'd have like a fresh water for me, like just on the ball. So Cooper, big shout out to you. You definitely proved yourself in this one. Hopefully you can keep up this pace, because that's the type of mentality and type of work ethic that we need to be able to do projects like this. Then you got my brother, Taylor Sparks, who came out. We were at a Sunday dinner the night before we went out, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I told him that, what the plan was. He's like, "I'm there." He's a professor up at the University of Utah. He's got a very busy schedule. He dropped everything he was doing, and he spent 3, 4, 5 days out there with us. A lot of time. His friends Rodney Bedrero and Ben Powell both came out and spent some time on the shovels. Super grateful for those guys. Then we got my man and good friend JT Tannehill from Above the Best Training. You guys remember the guy that kidnapped us and we had to run and get hunted through the forest? JT came out and lent a ton of support. He brought us drinks, he brought us supplies. He was down at the bottom of the mine shoveling. JT is the man, and we'll be showing you more with him soon as we continue to kind of flesh out the training program that we're working on with him. Also, a big thanks to Les, Alan's buddy, who was the one who originally found this mine and knew the whole story and the timeline, and he's the reason why we ended up coming out here and digging in here. I took Les's word for it, and I'm glad I did, because the evidence that we found is pretty powerful stuff. Also want a big shout out to Debbie Caldwell and her husband. Debbie was the Powell family's daycare provider, and she never really liked Josh, but she was really good friends with Susan, and her and her husband drove out here and just spent a ton of time and energy and money in making sure that we had all the information. They're the ones that connected us to Susan's family, to Chuck Cox, and to his sister Pam. Amazing family. Once you've spent time with them, you understand how passionate they are about this and how dedicated they are, and all of Susan's friends and family were just, kicking ass. Dave Cawley from the KSL podcast, Cold, without Dave's podcast, we would have never known half the things we know about Josh's behavior and where he was going and what he was doing. So sincerely appreciate the time, energy, and the quality of the Cold podcast. If you haven't listened to it, Cold Season 1, it is literally riveting. Like, you'll be on the edge of your seat. I've listened to it 3 times from start to finish now, and I could probably listen again and enjoy it just the same. Big shout out to the BLM, the Utah BLM office, Todd Marks, Kim Coburn from the Utah Division of Mining, Oil and Gas. We reached out to them and kind of coordinated this project. They were awesome to work with. And that's always nice when you have a federal and state agencies that are like, let's work together, let's figure this out. So very grateful for those relationships. On top of that, I want to thank Polaris for providing us the Polaris Ranger and the other vehicles to get around. Smitty built for the winch on my Raptor, that actually saved our lives, pulling us out of the hole when the winch on the Het died. You've got Rugged Radios, who provided us with like seamless communication up and down that mine, which was awesome. Ariat boots, the boots that I wore were my Ariat Cryptek work boots that laced all the way to the top. I would have not been able to do this project without those, because I am so OCD about getting rocks, dirt, and pebbles in my shoes. These things kept everything out. Like, there was one point where I got like a tiny little pebble that kind of worked its way through, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop, I can't do this. So I started unlacing, and Dave's like, dude, seriously? He pulls off his cowboy boot and just dumps dirt everywhere. So that's the difference between me and Dave, but Ariat is the one who keeps us going with all of our work gear, and I really appreciate that. Same with True Work. True Work provides me with the pants that you guys see me wearing all the time, like those khaki work pants. That's True Work, those guys. And I'll link all these companies in the description below. In fact, a few of these different companies, we have deals where we can offer you guys discount codes and promo codes. So if you're interested in any of the items here, I'll have a whole breakdown of what's what, where you can get it, and what the discount code is. And I just want to pass that on to you guys as a favor. It's not a big moneymaker deal for us, but it's, I know there's a lot of you who really want access to this nice gear, and that's what we're happy to do. Another huge shout out to Makita. Makita Tools provided us with the sawzalls, the drills, all the stuff that we needed down at the bottom to be able to cut those timbers and be able to keep working our way down through the debris and rubble. And that stuff worked incredibly. So super grateful for Makita and for their constant support of the channel. Next up, you've got the Cumberland Sales Company. Cumberland Sales Company is the company that provides us with all of our slings, chains, rigging, hooks, D-ring, shackles, binders. And without them, we wouldn't have been able to run the slings down to the bottom of this mine. And their stuff held up perfectly, like it always does, and super grateful for that partnership. Then you got Dynamax RV. I don't know if we showed the motorhome very much because we were so busy down in the hole, but we did end up taking my big Dynamax motorhome out there, and it's got so many beds in it that we were able to sleep pretty much the entire crew. I think 8 full-grown men were asleep in there, like, comfortably. So I love that RV. I'll be doing more with it soon to show you guys kind of a full tour of it. But it's rugged and robust, and it drove all the way out there in the middle of the desert through the rough terrain and handled it like a champ. So love them and appreciate their partnership. Diesel Power Gear, which is my company, our company, you know, obviously provides people, support, vehicles, pretty much everything that we need. So even though it's my own company, I also have partners in it. So I just want to say thanks to them. And you know, finally, I just want to say thanks to you guys. When we started this video series, I didn't know if it was going to be anything more than just a quick mine exploration, but it quickly snowballed into something very big. And honestly, with your guys' help and support, we might have just solved, you know, this missing persons case of Susan Powell, which, you know, if the DNA comes back that it's actually her, this is a big deal, guys, and we couldn't have done it without you. So with that said, I appreciate everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show.